If they hide their phone from you, it's often because that small device has become a window into a side of their life they don't want you to see. A phone today is not just a gadget, it's a diary, a secret keeper, and a reflection of priorities. When someone goes out of their way to turn the screen away from you, quickly lock it, or even step into another room when a message pops up, it sends a subtle but powerful message. It can mean more than just valuing privacy. It can hint at behaviors or emotions that they are consciously or unconsciously trying to conceal. At first, this might feel like a small act, something too insignificant to read into. After all, everyone deserves personal space, and not every message is meant to be shared. But in relationships, consistency speaks volumes. If hiding their phone becomes a pattern, if the screen always faces down on the table, if they carry it with them everywhere, even to the bathroom, or if they act defensive when you ask a simple question, it becomes less about privacy and more about avoidance. It reflects the psychology of secrecy, a defense mechanism to keep certain truths out of reach. Psychologists explain that in healthy relationships, openness creates trust. That doesn't mean sharing every password or reading every chat, but it does mean that one partner shouldn't feel threatened by the other simply looking at their phone. When the opposite happens, it creates a sense of distance, a silent barrier. The one hiding often knows that transparency would lead to uncomfortable questions, and so they choose to control the narrative by keeping you in the dark. Sometimes, the reason is emotional rather than suspicious. They may be venting to a friend about struggles in the relationship, and they don't want you to stumble across those words. They may be reliving parts of their past that they aren't ready to talk about. In other cases, it could be harmless, like planning a surprise for you, or guarding something deeply personal that has nothing to do with betrayal. But the human mind naturally fills in gaps with doubt. When actions look secretive, assumptions grow, and trust begins to erode, even if nothing is actually wrong. On the other hand, when the reason is suspicious, hiding the phone becomes an obvious red flag. Relationship psychology shows that people who are emotionally or romantically involved with someone else often develop hyper-awareness of how they manage their devices around their partner. A delayed response to questions, nervous gestures, or sudden changes in behavior around their phone are all telltale signs. They fear being exposed, so they overcompensate by guarding the device more tightly. The behavior also highlights a shift in priorities. When someone feels the need to protect their phone more than they protect the bond you share, it reveals where their focus lies. A strong relationship is built on emotional security, knowing that your partner chooses honesty over secrecy. But when they hide something as basic as a phone screen, it suggests a weakening of that bond. It sends the message, there's a part of me you're not allowed to see. Still, it's important not to jump to conclusions too quickly. Human behavior is layered, and what looks like avoidance might simply be a craving for independence. Some people are naturally private, even with those they love deeply. They may not be hiding something destructive, but rather holding on to a sense of individuality. For them, the phone is a symbol of control, in a world where sharing everything can feel overwhelming. In such cases, communication is the key, asking, listening, and understanding before assuming the worst. In the end, the act of hiding the phone reveals one undeniable truth. Something is being protected, whether it's innocent or not. The action itself signals a gap between two people. That gap can either widen into mistrust or close through open conversation. If you notice it happening often, take it as a sign to reflect, to ask questions calmly, and to set boundaries that respect both trust and privacy. Relationships thrive on clarity, not shadows. When the phone stays hidden, it's not really about the device, it's about the emotions and choices behind it. Pay attention to the actions, not just the words, because behavior rarely lies. And remember, someone who truly values the bond will never make you feel like an outsider in their life.